Smells like it could be the best basketball shoe of 2022. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on what I'm gonna dub bad boys right from the jump. And these, my friends, are the Nike KD 15. 15, that's a big number, dude. Congrats. First things first, I grabbed these overseas. So this is one of the EP versions, which are typically a wider last version of the shoe. However, I have been grabbing a lot of EP versions lately because, well, mostly because like we haven't been getting them on time here in the States and they get them a little bit earlier overseas. So I've been grabbing a lot of those. So I don't know what's going on with all of these, you know, overseas versions, but just to let you guys know, recently at least, they have not been fitting any wider. So if you are a wide footer, just be aware of that. Now, before we get too deep into these guys right here, we do have a quick word from our sponsor, and it's the good folks over at Sole Premise. For those of you guys that are not aware, Sole Premise offers premium travel bags. They have this one right here. This is my favorite. This is kind of like their regular backpack or their day pack. They also have the XL version as well, which is like a beefcake version of this guy right here. It fits 5 pairs of shoes, as well as 5 to 7 days worth of clothing, your laptop, and it's TSA approved. The thing is gnarly. They also have duffels as well, and all of their items actually fit up to a size 15, which I think is really great. And if you wanted to try out Sole Premise with a significant discount, we have a promo code you can see probably on the screen right now, as well as a direct link down below in the description box. It'll head you over to Sole Premise's website where you can check out all the different colors and all the different material styles. I personally like the leather ones. You guys probably already know this by now. And with that being said,
that bag's about to get its own Instagram page. It's starred in so many WearTesters videos.
Love that bag, like, and it's gorgeous too, man. That gray color with the texture in it. If we can get a shoe that was made out of that. Like if they re-released the Wolf Gray Air Jordan 5, but instead of the, you know, the textured like nubuck that they did, if they did it in that kind of gray leather, oh my God.
But we're not here to talk about
We're not here to talk about Jordans or anything like that. We're here to talk about these potential bad boys, the KD 15s. Look at this outsole, man. This thing looks gorgeous. Does it look familiar to you? Because it sure as hell does to me. So I don't know if they have any correlation. All I'm saying is that when I see this, I also see this, and I think that it's really great. So I hope that it plays really well on court. The Kobe 9's traction is some of the greatest of all time outside of the Air Jordan 1 and the Air Jordan 28. And if this plays even half as good as that, they're gonna be awesome. That's how good that Kobe 9 traction was. If these play half as good, because the Kobe 9 was like almost pop your hip out kind of traction, this is gonna be fantastic.
I guarantee it.
Oh, also, because these did come from overseas, they are XDR rubber. I don't, you know, notice anything really like extra firm about them or anything like that, because all of the grooves are pretty thin, like plenty of pliability and all of that stuff, much like the Kyrie Low 5s. Those also, again, they were from overseas. They were XDR. Indoors, they played fantastic. A lot of people actually ask if the XDR has like bad traction indoors because they're supposed to be made for outdoors. For me personally, like it's always a hit or a miss, and it really depends on the traction pattern itself when it comes to the XDR stuff. So my PG6s inside, same floor on the Kyrie Low 5s, sliding all over the place. It was a big bummer because that shoe is great looking and they're hella comfortable, but the traction was ass. And then for whatever reason, those Kyrie Low 5s, no cushion, but hot damn, the traction was so grippy. Like I was like, what the f? Like it was crazy. So yeah, these guys could go either way, but I think that that pattern is really gonna save the day here, especially when you got all of this weird multicolor stuff. This is the thing I don't like. I don't like the way that it looks, and I typically don't like the way that it performs, because each color kind of changes the compound of the rubber just slightly, and so it could be a little slick, which they actually do feel like they do feel like they got some kind of coating on there. But that could be the stuff that they coat the molds with so that they can pop the rubber sole out as soon as they're done so they don't get stuck. Now the cushion on these guys is the same exact setup as last year's model, which I think is fantastic. They even have a cool little design cue that carried over. So this little midfoot piece right there where it says Air Zoom, which it shouldn't because it sounds weird. It should be Zoom Air, but they actually have that right there. Same exact thing. Not same exact thing, but it's, you know, the call out. I like that because it makes the shoe kind of like flow into the next model, which I really love. Something that today's footwear doesn't really do anymore. I used to love studying all of the Jordans, being like, oh man, this carried over from the 3 to the 4, from the 4 to the 5, from the 5 to the 6. But I love the evolution of the lines. The KD line used to do that. and then they got weird. It was like right from about the 12, or I would say like when they did the full length stuff, like 9. From there through the 11s, they were fairly similar, and then they jumped again. So they're kind of like grouped into evolutionary stages, which I guess they did do with the Jordans too. Anyways, what these guys are made up of is a Cushlon midsole. This time around though, it doesn't feel quite as fluffy or as bouncy as last year's model. That was probably my only real nitpick about that shoe, because it was one of the best shoes of last year in my opinion. And it's just that on certain movements, especially when you're doing like a hard stop or whatever, like sometimes that Cushlon midsole would be so squishy that you would kind of like rock a little bit. It gives you a little bit of a lag time. Not anything to where you would roll over the footbed, but just enough to where it would rock, and then you'd have to move back into your step, whether you're gonna go take a jump shot or pivot or, you know, jab step, fake back, whatever, all that kind of stuff. The 2K moves, unless you're like someone like Luka and it's like real life moves, or Kyrie. Man, that guy's amazing on court when he plays. But anyways, these guys right here, they sit a lot lower to the ground than those, so I think that this is gonna be a much nicer ride. On top of that, there is a Zoom Air Strobel unit, which I just love. I cannot even tell you guys, you already know, but if they don't put this on every shoe, like, it's just, why? This should be in those Kyrie 5 lows. I'd pay 10 more bucks for that. The insole is not a piece of but some people might think it is. It's actually the same exact insole that we've gotten since the KD12s, which is the same exact insole that we got in the Kobe 6s. So it's that styrofoam looking stuff, and it molds to your foot. Just give it a little bit of time. They do feel very stiff at first, the insole that is. But once it molds to your foot, man, that thing feels awesome. Actually, if you have last year's model and they already are molded to your foot, I would recommend bypassing this one and just pull the insole out and put in those. And you won't even have to worry about it. The upper on these guys is nothing premium, but I love it. I think that this is the way to go for textile. It feels like a perfect blend of the TPU plasticky crap that I typically don't like with a lot of the textiles that I also typically don't like, but it just fits so nicely that this right here just feels like it's going to be a dream to play in. They don't feel like they're going to require any real break-in time as far as the upper is concerned. Lots of airflow and ventilation on top of that. Color application is going to be great on these. They'll probably be able to do some prints like they did last year.
What do you think of the Presto looking cage?
I was going to get to that. The cage thing reminds me, to you, looks like the Presto. That's actually something from the KD14 that was like a callback. That guy right there, the inside is supposed to be like the Presto. And I think that it's great. I think that this is part of like the overall shape in that cage right there really lends itself to what KD was saying, is like, he was saying that they took some slight inspiration from the Jet Flight, which is like a really popular shoe from the early 2000s. And that shoe looked very weird. Steve Nash was known to wear those primarily, even though lots of guards in the league wore them. So yeah, that shoe had kind of like a midfoot. It wasn't a cage, but it was like an overlay with the strap system. And that's what this reminds me of. It just is muted out because of the tonal upper. To me though, personally, like when I see this, it just gives me Jordan 4 vibes with the lockdown wings. And I really like that stuff because I love seeing these things on shoes. I know it's plastic, and I, again, typically don't like that along the entire upper, but when it's like an extra piece that's like a support cage, I do like that. It just looks really dope. Oh, and that swoosh, man, the thing looks cool. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it looks fucking dope. Also, her favorite part is probably the back right here.
Thanos's chin.
Yeah, it looks like Thanos's nutsack for a chin, you know what I mean? And it's pretty hardcore. I was looking at these side by side with the 14s, and they have that thing too. It's just a little bit different, but I think that maybe that's another thing that you can consider that carried over, which I think is dope. One of the features of the shoe that I think is gonna be fairly underrated is actually the tongue. It's not quite Nike's torch system, but it's very, very reminiscent of it. It's got plenty of airflow in there. It's gonna be lightweight. It's gonna make sure that it relieves lace pressure on top of that. I think it looks fantastic. It feels fantastic. I
knew you were gonna like it.
I know, man. And that's the thing too, is that like I can't play basketball physically very much anymore because like my joints get up and it's super painful all the time. But this shoe, when it comes in, it's much like the GT cuts and the GT jumps, where like something like this, man, when I get this in, I just want to play basketball. That's what a good basketball shoe is all about, is when you get them in, you're so stoked about everything that's on there, all the stuff that you like, and you just want to be like, yo, I just need to lace these up, man. They feel fantastic. I cannot wait to whenever I finally go back out there to play in these. Now, like I was saying before, as far as the fit is concerned, I went true to size. I feel like they fit perfect. However, if you are a wide footer, you might want to go up half a size. They are very slender. Got that like really nice 1-to-1 fit to me. However, I will say that because it is textile, it might break in really well. So if possible, wait till they're available in stores, go in there, try them on. If you wear an ankle brace, you should always bring that with you when you try on shoes. That way you can see like how they fit with all of the sculpting. Most of the time you'll have to go up half a size with one of those, but don't be embarrassed when you bring your equipment with you, because this is a piece of equipment. You got to make sure that it works with the rest of everything that you wear. On top of that, there's a couple couple of extra features on here. When you're looking at the outsole, there's a bunch of little circles or like holes punched out of them.
Oh.
That is for extra stretch so that the rubber doesn't like rip on you and stuff like that. It's kind of something new that they've been working on since the Why Not series. Also, the midfoot plate right here is very substantial. So if we're comparing it to something like the Kyrie Low 5s or even the Kyrie Infinities, those lack a little bit of torsional support and rigidity, something that you can get from an external source like an insole. However, this shoe right here has one built in and it's beefy. Like it doesn't look like much, but man, I can't twist these for nothing. So whatever's in there, it feels great. I also love that you can see right through to the zoom mirror that's in there. I think it's awesome. You can also see that you sit a lot lower to the ground than you did in last year's model. And then one last design feature that I really love is the back right there. It looks like the Jordan 12. I think it's awesome. It's really cool. This is not a colorway that I like, by the way. I feel like colorways for this shoe are really gonna make it like stand out.
You practically designed your own KD that had this theme color to it. Was it the 13s?
Yes, but like one of them was like yellow and green.
Yeah.
So they were like the Seattle colors. That was like a nod to his, rookie days. The one that I did that was like 90s inspired, it had that weird 90s print. So like if whatever this is was everywhere else, that's kind of what it was, and I like that.
I take it back. It was the SpongeBob's. Was that a PG that you did then?
The SpongeBob's. I have a SpongeBob shoe?
Yes, even our son was like, they look like they're from SpongeBob SquarePants, Dad.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah, that's a PG5s. But that was also yellow.
No, I know. So I'm
This
just
is not
saying-
yellow. This is Volt.
Is it?
Yes.
It's like a
that's
pale
yellow.
Volt.
No, that's yellow. This is bright neon.
I love when we get to debate what
There
color is showing
is
up.
no debate. It's right next to it. You can't fuck me with this one. It's literally right next to yellow. You could tell that there are differences. But with all that being said, sound off below. Let us know what you think about these down below in the comments. Thank you once again for watching. We greatly appreciate that you guys are here. If you're asking throughout the whole video where I got this shirt, well, you need to watch more of our videos because we already talked about that. Which video is it? Not gonna tell you. You gotta watch it. Find out. Have some engagement.
If I can remember, it's right here.
Don't help them out. We can't hold their hand. Promote laziness? No. Be a champion. Watch our videos. Engage in the comments. Hit the like button.
Oh, I remember what it is.
I already knew what it was. If you're not already subscribed, why the hell not? Also, if you wanted to really support the channel, there will be a link down below in the description box. It'll send you over to WearTesters.com where you can read what it means to be a WearTesters Discord community member. And with that being said, thank you so much once again for being here. And until next time, guys, have a good one.
I like how it says quality inspired by Kevin Durant.
I know. I thought that was a weird line because I was just like
Not the greatest player.
Well, you can't say that
No, I
because
know.
Jordan already got that. And then normally Nike will be like, to the exact specifications of championship athletes.
No.
First round knockout, boy. Like, you can't say that on these, even though I know that they made these first. But like, I just thought it was funny.
No, I know. I just think it's funny that there's no like extra flowery hoopla.
No, it's just quality inspired by KD, whatever that means.